We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
Dave, you're so naive. Of course they were swingers.
Well, you know, I didn't really understand what swinging meant.
You thought they were talking about the gym set.
No, because my parents put this really nice patio swing together, and we spent a lot of time out there on the swing, and we used to say, "Hey, we're swinging," And I always figured
the neighbors be on the other side of the fence, like, "Oh boy." Did you have an upside down pineapple on the front porch?
no.
Isn't that the
Yes.
sign? Yes.
We had scrunchies.
Is that another one or something?
Scrunchies from Ocala, from the villages. Why don't we always?
I don't know.
We always bring them up? Yeah, I think no, we did. That's just being silly. Hey,
we're back.
We're back.
What do you got in your hand there?
I got me. It's not. That's not even fair to call this a dram. I think this might have been a little bit of a heavy pour.
Okay,
but I do in my quest for all things bourbon. I have landed a new find, as Woody likes to say, the knob. This is Knob Creek 9 for those that are interested.
Apparently, he'll be polishing off his knob tonight.
Oh, that was too easy.
I know.
This is Kentucky Straight Bourbon and Whiskey, aged 9 years. Thus the name 9. And it says Knob Creek small batch. I always get a little tickle in my sense of humor when someone says small batch.
Well, in Knob Creek got me.
Is that like when you're in a hurry, you do a small batch?
That reminds me. And this is not a joke about, I'm not going after your weight or anything, Dave, but I saw, I was coming home and one of the rest areas said, no large loads.
I've seen those before. We can't pull over here, honey.
I can't use this one.
They've obviously had some troubles on the plumbing.
Plumbing's not up to par in this one.
Must have been an older rest station.
Nothing like good poop jokes to start off.
Yeah, 100 proof, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
A little less than last week's then.
Yeah. So what I'm doing, just for the listeners to keep up with what we're going on here, Dave's not a lush. Well, not yet.
Yeah, it's too early for that.
But yeah, well, is it? I drank bourbon when we were in college, and of course, like every other guy in college, you probably drank too much of it and maybe got sick off of it a couple times, and or whatever. And so I steered away from it. I didn't drink bourbon I went to spiced rum. The Captain, which that's in hindsight,
that's not better than bourbon.
That was a bad move. And then I got into Scotch after I turned 50, and I'm one of these guys. I smoke cigars, and I finally know my favorite cigar, and so I have a go-to. If they don't carry what I've got, I can get 3 different cigars, and I'm very comfortable. And I wanted to have that sensibility about my bourbon. I don't like the idea of going in and go, you should try this, or you should try that, you should try this. And I'm doing something I really don't profess to do all the time. I'm watching some of these guys on YouTube, and I'm trying to get a sense of their personality and what they're recommending. And I keep coming in. I'm down it in. We're getting close. And so this Knob Creek was one of them I wanted to try. It's like $36. It's pretty reasonable. But
in
I do
Florida, we should say.
Yeah, in Florida. And this is 100 proof. I do like it a little hotter. So the 115, 120, believe it or not.
Hotter in terms of
proof.
Proof, not spice.
Well, I don't know the terminology. It's spicy is one way of saying it's hot. A little bit of a kick. But I don't mix it anymore. I don't mix it with Coke or cola. Ginger ale, I used to love mixing it with ginger ale, but I don't.
Yeah, I do ginger beer.
Yeah.
Or anyway. I make a revolver, which is 2 shots bourbon, 1 shot coffee liqueur. And you're supposed to put some orange bitters in there. But again, that's one of those things I can't tell the difference. So
does it go down in the beer?
No.
Wait a minute. 2 shots of bourbon.
And a shot of coffee liqueur.
And you put that in one drink?
Yeah.
Wow, that's called a revolver.
Yeah, and then some orange bitters on top.
Sounds like a gunshot.
Well, it's actually pretty good. I enjoy it.
Coffee liqueur and bourbon. I had that
Yeah.
makes no sense. Like Bailey's?
Does
No.
anything? I don't know. I try to find, I don't like making complicated drinks. So when I find something that's easy, like I drink vodka tonics, people call a Kentucky Mule, which is bourbon and ginger beer, right? You put lime in, but I can just squeeze a little lime
Yeah,
juice
those
on
are
top.
basically highballs. You're just
Yeah.
mixing the liquor and
Anything
stuff
that
out.
has over 3 ingredients or, zest. I hate zest because you ruin a whole orange or lime just to get a little piece of, because it's not like I'm serving an army of people here. I'm serving myself. So I don't feel like wasting a whole lime just for one piece of zest. So
Sounds like a business opportunity to start a zest line
just the rind of the.
for the one-off drinker. Here's some zest. Can you
And then you
imagine?
put the rest in the limeade or something. So you're, well,
Oh,
then Coca-Cola should look into that because aren't they the Minute Maid people now?
well, you probably have the eco-friendly people at your doorstep. Like, what are you doing with all these rinds? Like the muffin tops
I was
over
going to
on
say, like the,
Seinfeld.
muffin, the bottom of the muffins. You ain't giving me those secondhand muffins.
All right. Do you want to do the opener? We have a risky business here. This is
Well,
season 12.
yes, and then I have a piece of
Okay,
housekeeping.
let's see. We've gone without our friend for a couple
And
of shows.
please
Let's
not
see what
put
she's
we
up to.
in a sentence. It's
Okay,
you.
Alexa, can you give us the opener to the podcast of We Can Help with Dave and Woody? Remember, this is season 12, episode 1.
Welcome to Season 12, Episode 1 of We Can Help with Dave and Woody. We're back with fresh insights and solutions to tackle your everyday challenges. Join us as we dive into the topics that matter most to you.
Yeah, that's pretty vanilla.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
She just basically half of it was repeating what you asked her to do.
Shh, don't say that. It's not artificial intelligence. It's assist. That was an assist. That's like a layup. All right. So you had something to kind of run the show a little bit.
Well, I just wanted to make sure I backed up on something. Last week we did our fantastic crossword episode, and we were all flummoxed by the theme of 3 times.
Oh,
and we didn't figure it out.
Can I get a shot at it?
Yeah, listening to the episode this week, I'm like, oh, duh. But go ahead.
Is it something about men? Because we
Nope.
said men and sirs.
Nope. The 3 long answers were, I got hold of my things, were information age, prohibition era, and waiting period, which are 3 times. Yeah.
Like three periods, 3 times.
Yeah, three times. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to clear something up. And I went back and listened to the episode too, of course, just so we could have the ad rolls. But my difficulty with crossword puzzles, and it dawned on me this week when we did this, is when I hear a clue, I try, like you said, what was the clue about hacking?
Was it hacking, or I can't remember what it was, but I think I know where you're going with this because I was hearing the same thing.
It wasn't a machete, but what was the clue? Do you remember?
Like motion with a machete or something like that.
Yeah, so
motion of a machete.
I took the clue as to what they would be cutting up, and I said bamboo. So you were spelling out hack, and I'm like, no, you idiot! It's bamboo. They're clearly it's chopping. It was chopping.
Oh, okay.
They're chopping bamboo.
Well, yeah.
And what I didn't realize was they're not asking for that. They're asking in spite of, instead of.
Well, they're asking for what they're similes.
What's an alternative? Yeah,
an alternative for this word, a word for this meaning. And one of the other things that was cracking me up is I would say it's 3 letters, blah blah blah, and you'd go pseudonym. You'd yell out 10-letter words and stuff.
Well, I did pretty well with the 3-letter ones, but that tells you something.
Well, I thought listening back, I caught that one too. I'm like, good Lord.
Well, the bamboo one really tickled me because you kept spelling with it, and I'm like, no, it's bamboo. And you're like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know.
So anyhow, that was the clarification on the thing. I felt stupid afterwards. So, but
Not a linguist, just a guy trying to understand.
Well, it makes for good humor, Dave. The rest of us can laugh at you, not with you. Then, so
well, who was it? My father said, if you can't laugh at yourself, someone else will.
that sounds about right.
One of his big advices, but go ahead.
2 episodes ago, on February 4th, at the closing, you said, "Oh, I got an emergency to talk about." Well, then the following week we did the crossword, so I'm worried about you. It's been a couple weeks now.
No, so
did it pan out?
I don't know if it's because of my age or I don't recall being this way when we were in the fraternity. I think I was pretty much a free spirit. Whatever came down the pipe, we did it, within reason. But like if I'm gonna have a beverage, like tonight, for example, I need to ask Sheila. We're not going out anywhere tonight. We're not planning on going out somewhere, right? My fear is after I got married, I really didn't drink after I got married. Not as much as I did in college, obviously, because we had kids, and I didn't want to be.
Way. Yeah,
I didn't want to be steamed, and then suddenly, but one of our daughters falls and splits her head open, and then I'm like, oh my,
I can't drive
go because dad's polluted. I can't take you to the hospital.
And that's it. Could pull a recurring theme, but you can call your AC guy.
Listen, I got Jake's number on speed dial, but we're gonna have to wait till the Uber gets there. Yeah. That's classic. Anyways, so it really curtailed a lot of which is probably healthy in the end because I didn't need to.
I think you're just so busy with kids and stuff that you don't have time to enjoy a drink. That's part of drinking is you get to enjoy it. You don't have time with kids at dinner table or anywhere else.
I knew dads when I was a kid. Is like and in hindsight, I guess he was like, I don't give a crap about the kids. I'm going to get loaded,
That's how my parents were.
Yeah, and I didn't want to be that parent, obviously, and I don't think you did either. So, anyway, so a couple months ago, at our as my special group that I'm a president of, as you like to call the cult, our sheriff comes up to me and says, "Do you have an emergency plan?" This is the sheriff of the county, the most powerful person in the county. And I'm like, what do you mean emergency plan? And she says, well, I mean, God forbid something happens. You need to have someone who is designated to know the address. Where are we right now? And I said, well, it's easy. We're at Santione's restaurant in Fleming Allen. And she goes, no. We need to be able to tell the dispatcher the actual physical address. I'm like, well, they should know where Santione's is. She goes, no, Theus, get it right. You need the address. And so she wanted us to, we've done it, by the way, designate one person is the address person. That's all their job is. The other person is to go out in the parking lot and direct emergency vehicles.
Yes.
Assuming none of us are shot, of course.
Right.
All this
time you went dark in a hurry. It could have just been a heart attack, Dave, but you had to go into a shooter.
All right. It could have been a heart attack. And so I started to think you and I are in 2 different states. And sometimes I'm by myself here at my studio, and you're, got a bachelor pass, and you're by yourself in your studio. So I started to think, what if one of us started choking, or God forbid, blacked out? Could I call 911 and activate Charlotte somehow? How would I go about doing that, or vice versa?
Well, you call 911 and then you tell them the area you're trying to alert about, and they would most likely connect you.
Do I say this is Dave with Dave and Woody, and they're like, oh yeah, we show all the
we
time.
know right where that is.
We'll start talking about the show. I'm like, oh well, forget about that for a minute.
You mean that 70-story building with your sign on top? Yeah, that's the
one. but so seriously, I mean, I have your physical address. We're not going to give
Right.
that out, obviously. I don't know that you have
Let's
mine,
hope not, but
you know, you don't care enough to ask for mine. But what would we do
now
in
you
the
got
event
keep
something
going.
happened? So would we just? You're thinking the answer is we. I don't want to call 911 and inquire, like, hey, listen, by the way,
Would this work?
you know what? Hold on
You
a
know,
second.
I probably have your very old address because it was an apartment number.
Mm. Yeah, that's old. We'll get that
Okay.
updated. Hang on a second. Let's see if Alexa knows. Alexa, if I'm on the phone with someone in a different state and that person has a medical emergency, how could I call 911 in his or her location from where I am?
I can't place this call. If this is a life-threatening situation, please dial
She
911
thinks
directly
you
from the
need a
phone.
doctor.
Okay, Alexa.
Calm
Hold
down.
on. Let's set the table. This is not an emergency, but in the event there is a medical emergency and I'm on the phone with someone from a different state, how could I facilitate a call to their local 911?
I can't directly place calls to 911 for
All right,
someone
give
in
up.
another state. If you're on the
Give up.
phone with someone
I'm
having a
telling you,
medical
they
emergency,
would.
the best thing to do is have them call 911 directly from their own
See?
phone.
Okay.
There you go.
Stay on the line with them for support while they do
Yeah,
this.
I was going to say, I'm almost assured. And the other thing, as far as knowing your address now, you know, the cellular phones have the E911 program, it's called, on them. It's a requirement. And they can pretty much pinpoint exactly where you are. So, like when you're on the highway or something, they can find you readily, easily. Back in the day,
Well,
you had to
but
give a mile marker or something. But yeah.
that's assuming your phone is dormant on your tabletop at the time we're having this conversation.
Right.
I don't know. It just, you know, I think about these things kind of oddly. You know, the middle of the night, I'll wake up and go, "Hey, what is that?" But
most people like to think of happy things. Dave
well,
goes
no,
to
I
the
do. I
morbid.
tell you what we'll do is we'll put a plan in place after we get done with this episode, and we'll make sure that we both have each other's updated addresses because you know, God forbid, you're not all the time, but you're by yourself every once in a while. I guess I could scream, but you have headset on. I could scream through the for someone to help you. They'd be like, "Who cares?"
Yeah.
My
What's
life
Dave yelling
insurance,
about in there?
my life insurance is paid up, so it'd be like, "Oh, okay, just give them a little while."
Let's give it a few minutes, would you? So no. So that was your emergency thing?
Yeah, that was kind of the thought. I didn't want to do it.
I thought it was a funny story or something.
Well, I told you it was kind of dark.
Oh.
Well, you know, we could help somebody. I don't know what we actually did. I figured you could call your local 911 and explain the situation. Listen,
Yes.
you know, listen, I'm talking to this guy. This is crazy, but I'm on a podcast and he's in the greater, you know, whatever area.
Yeah.
Can you patch me through to their 911?
Right. I'm absolutely sure they would be able to handle that.
I would think so.
Yes, and then they could probably I don't know. That'd be a tough call for them to get your IP address and figure out exactly where I am.
Well, I don't know what I could. So
I don't know if it would be fast enough. If I was choking, it wouldn't happen fast enough. That's for sure.
So. But listeners, if you have someone out there that knows this answer, weigh in, please, and leave us a comment. That'd be kind of fun to find out. We probably have some expert in our vast audience that knows what we're talking about. Or not.
Hey, not. I'm just going to move on from that subject. The other thing I wanted to, it's all me today, by the way, if you haven't figured
That's fine.
this out.
No, this is a big week for you. This is your Super Bowl.
Yeah. Did you hear the Daytona 500 from your house?
No.
No, you couldn't hear? Yeah, I remember as a kid, we lived in I lived in Ormond Beach. Well, of course, my high school was off turn 4. So every time I watched something at the Daytona 500, I looked for my old school there off turn 4 behind the airport. But so we definitely heard them practicing and running there. Of course, we didn't hear the race because that was Sunday. But all the stuff the week prior and all that we could hear. And then my home up in Ormond Beach, which is a good probably 10 miles away. We could hear when the whole field lights up, you could definitely hear, a dull.
And on the wind blowing.
Yeah, in the air. So it is quite loud. And it's one of the things I appreciate. So the whole electric race thing is that element is taken out of it, and it kind of I miss it. You know, the power of an engine's fascinating. I remember going to if you ever get a chance, go to an NHRA race, and when the top fuel or the funny cars light those engines up, man, your heart goes into your stomach. It is so much power in the air. I remember in Memphis, I went, and they were setting off car alarms going off in the parking way out in the parking lot all day long, because every time they'd light up those top fuel engines, man, jeez,
I went to Gator Nationals one time.
Yeah, there you go. That's an
and
NHRA.
poof,
It depends on what time you go, right? Because there's a lot of different
classes.
right? Yeah. So some aren't that loud, but the top fuel, that is the creme de la creme of engines. So
yeah, I used to, there were a lot of guys where I grew up in Orlando that, they weren't racers, but they were, weekend kind of hackers, I guess. And I never fully understood the argument about a 3/4 cam or a full cam. I don't fully understand what that does in the motor, but there's something about a motor with a cam in it, that kind of that lunging idle that it does, that that sort of thing, that just excites the heck out of me. I don't know. It's like
it's just it's such all that power. It's just fascinating. Cam opens and closes the valves, by the way. So they're kind of, and they do other. There's other people argue me all day about it, but there's other things it does. But that's like the main job in a naturally aspirated engine. But in today's day and age, blah 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 blah. Some of that is gone the way of the dodo. But
so do everyone's running fuel injection at that race, though, right?
I think they do now in NASCAR. I think they switched maybe 5 to 7 years ago. They switched to fuel injectors.
How does the restrictor plate do? Or what does that do?
That just restricts the airflow into the engine. So, the three things make a fire, right? Oxygen, fuel, and heat. And so they just restrict the oxygen piece to try and limit the capacity of the engines that way.
Okay.
So, but the winner was Michael Jordan's team.
Yeah.
So kind of a Charlotte connection in that sense, or a Carolina connection, you should say. Yeah. And did you see the sponsor of that car?
Well, you told me, but I'll let you do it.
Chumba Casino, one of our biggest advertisers on the Dave and Woody show.
I think it needs to be said. I mean, who were they before us, really?
Exactly. And Bubba Wallace was quick to point out. He goes, I just thought of this because he won what the Brickyard 400 last year with Chumba Casino on the car. And he goes, man, Chumba's got 2 of the crown jewels in NASCAR now already.
Now, I thought Chumba Casino was owned by the little fella that's in TV, like the Dick Clark Jr.
No, he advertises. I ask Alexa who owns Chumba Casino.
Alexa, who is majority owners of Chumba Casino?
Chumba Casino is currently owned by VGW Holdings, a global online gaming company licensed in Malta that operates legally throughout the United States.
Malta. Oh, great.
He's just, it's fascinating.
What's his name?
Ryan Seacrest.
Hold on just a second. Alexa, is Ryan Seacrest involved in Chumba Casino?
Ryan Seacrest is a brand ambassador for Chumba Casino, not an owner. He's been promoting the platform since late 2023, but isn't involved in its business operations.
That's right about when we came online.
Yeah, right.
When they started running through us.
They're like, hey, you know what?
That's what really got them, the
new podcast we need to advertise on. I think this will get us to the top.
That's not the one that said "Get Lucky" all the time, was it?
No, I think that was called Lucky Casino. It's all the same app with different names on it, is what it is.
So, did you see 2 things I wanted to mention? Did you see the company Dude Wipes?
Yes, that's what's funny is that's the sponsor of my son's favorite driver. And so this past, or maybe it was 2 Christmas ago, I told his sister, I said, buy him a Anthony Alfredo shirt, right? That's the guy who drives. And I said, just don't get him the one with Dude Wipes on it.
Well, can you? So if you check out our X account, well, we can help with Dave and Woody. It's
Oh, it's on there? I
at
didn't know
Dave and
that.
Woody Pod. So I was at like Costco, and they had like boxes and boxes of these things. And sometimes when I go to Costco, just feeling froggy, I'll snap a picture of something stupid and send it to Woody. Well, I had a picture on my phone of cases of dude wipes, and then I'm watching the recap from the race, and he's talking, and I'm looking
Yeah.
at his hat. I'm like, there he is, you know. So in our X account, I posted, this guy is wiping up the competition at the
Oh, I
race.
didn't pick up on that. All
Well,
right.
dude wipes. I did the at dude wipes, and they came back and liked it.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah.
Oh. Well, maybe we can get them to sponsor the show. You know, what would be classic is that Costco if they gave out free samples as you walked in the men's room.
So I don't
One
know.
of those little cups, you know.
Well, you know how the racers always have to they play to their sponsors,
Oh,
right?
of course.
And he's like, "Oh, I just couldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for these great sponsors, dude wipes." And I'm like, "Because you'd be
you'd be driving a go-kart. Otherwise, yeah, you know what's kind of irritating to me, but the bigger drivers don't pay homage to their sponsor very much when they're interviewed. Like back in the old day, they thank their team and they thank, their family, and they'll just brush by their sponsors most of the time. And
back then it was like Marlboro cigarettes and
but it was the livelihood of the team was the sponsor, and I gotta think it still is, because the prize money, albeit Daytona 500 had a large purse, the prize money is not that much. So it must be the TV rights and revenue sharing that really.
Did you notice that Michael Jordan didn't have any stickers on? I mean, he had his hat.
He had his line on.
Yeah, but he didn't really. He didn't have any extra, buttons on his outfit.
I do notice most of the owners will wear all their team sponsors, right? Because there's multiple teams. Like he was running 4 teams, 4 cars that day.
Really?
Yeah, he had Chumba Casino, Robin Hood, the
they're in trouble.
Okay, and the stock selling platform, and I forget what Bubba Wallace was racing.
So that's when he's talking about they had other team members helping each other out there.
Yeah. That, and then the car manufacturers will team up at the 500. A lot of times they didn't do that well as far as teaming up. They used to all, like the Toyotas would all pit at the same time, and the Chevys would, and then the Fords would. And the idea is that pack racing dominates. You need a pack of cars to move fast at Daytona, so they make sure they all pit at the same time, so you don't get left out on your own. Because you get left out on your own, you're not gonna catch anybody.
You need clean air.
No, not just clean air. You need pack air. You need a pack of cars creating like a vacuum almost down the back. It
sucks you around the track.
Yep. Yeah. So
who's the kid that was a child TV actor? Turns out he's a NASCAR enthusiast when he was a kid, and now he's a team owner. He was racing.
He's not a team owner. He might be. He might have money. Malcolm in the Middle star. Is who I think of. I can't think of Freddie, or is it? Freddie?
I saw him being. Alexa, who
Malcolm in the Middle?
The Malcolm in the Middle TV star who races NASCAR, or is he a truck driver?
Frankie Muniz, who starred as Malcolm in Malcolm in the Middle, is now a NASCAR driver. He's been racing in the truck series and recently finished 10th at Daytona.
Oh, there you go.
He's in the truck race before the 500, isn't he?
Yeah, that was a Friday night, and but it's all part of NASCAR, right? It's a league within NASCAR, but he hasn't been doing that well though, and he's frustrated by it. And so,
well, it's. I guess I don't know, it was kind of cool to see him. I didn't really watch that show on TV, but I couldn't help but every time he kept talking, I'm like, this is the guy from the TV show. I mean, he was kind of typecasted, I guess is the word.
Yeah, and he's, as a male star, I don't think he's that tall, so that probably doesn't.
That helps.
Well, of course, what's his name? One of the most famous ones, Tom Cruise. He's a little guy, but he likes to wear shoes and make sure that he's make sure he's
a little self-conscious of it.
Yeah, just a little bit maybe.
Well, he was together with those tall women, and it bugged him, I think.
I guess.
I don't want to go. I don't want to be starstruck. Let's not do this.
How is that starstruck talking about some guy's
Well,
personality
I
on
got a crush
TV?
on Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Yeah, you're all chuffed. That's for sure.
Mm. All right. Well, good show.
Did you pick up on that word, man?
Chuffed. Chucked.
Chuffed. Chuffed.
Chuffed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It means starstruck.
No, not going. I thought maybe you would bet you had
Chuffed.
Yeah, it's from the English continent. Not a continent, island, I guess.
That's good. Alexa, what is the origin of the word chuffed?
Chuffed comes from Northern English dialects, originally meaning puffed with fat like a steam engine. It evolved to describe someone so pleased they're practically puffing with pride.
There you go.
Excited, chuffed.
Yeah,
I think I've heard it.
pleased.
I think when I was at a pub one night, some mate said, Governor, we been chuffed, are we?
Well, that's why I thought, well, maybe there's a shot he'll pick up on this word. So now someone used that the other day, and I thought they were just making an adjective up. And so I called him on it, and turns out I was wrong. There you go. So, but anyhow, so did you watch any of the 500?
So it was on Fox, right?
Yeah.
So we don't. I don't know what we have. I'm not a TV technical. We have Sling.
Okay.
And
you
so
have to add local channels too.
Yeah. So we went I don't like paying for that stuff. So I went to Sling and I found, but it was the pre-race.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like
FS1.
2:00. I'm like, when is this thing gonna start? You
were there for 3 hours.
I was like, wait a minute, they're saying stuff like Tuesday. No, so I got to watch those interviews, and that's where I guess I caught the end of the truck thing with the one guy.
Anthony Alfredo.
Yeah, I kind of made a commitment this year. I told a couple friends, I said I want to get home and watch the race. In fact, we went to church on Sunday. I didn't tell Sheila I wanted to get home and watch the race, but I couldn't watch it. I mean, I couldn't get it on
without
TV.
local. The bigger races are on Fox Broadcasting, but later in the season they moved to FS1. Then they're back to NBC, but NBC rolls them on USA Network a lot. So you can do that. But on Sling TV, you can use an over-the-air antenna and feed your locals. That's what I do. I feed my local stations into my Sling account.
Yeah.
Via an antenna.
All I do is turn on YouTube and watch episodes of We Can Help with Dave and Woody because I'm a subscriber.
You can watch the extended highlights of the race on YouTube when it's over.
Yeah, and I've done that before. And I think we've added channels like when the college playoff game was on a couple weeks ago. We watched that. Sheila runs. She worked for the cable industry years ago when cable was just an infant, and she worked for Media One. And
that's aging her. Thanks, Dave. I'm sure she'll appreciate that.
Well, actually, before that, it was called Continental Cable. That was the slider box.
Yeah. I had one of the original dial boxes as a kid. Prism was the one outside Philly. Oh, you finished your
what's good about the 100 proof though is it's not as strong.
Well, that's the idea.
So you can have more than one.
Oh, is that why? Okay.
I'm thinking about it. We'll see.
I don't think it's additive. So, like if you have 130, can you have two?
No, I did that math. So that's 65s. A great question. We should talk about that for those who need some help. So what he's talking about is, let's say you drink a 90 proof distilled liquor.
1 ounce.
If I drink 120, is it one and a third times stronger? And so, how do I pose this question? There's an answer to it.
It's really a percentage. How much of it is percentage, right? Yeah, you divide it in half.
But it doesn't. I forget how. Let's see if it'll come up with, because I had to look it up on Google and I found it. It was pretty entertaining. Alexa, if I have a distilled liquor at 90 proof, what's the difference between 90 proof and 120 proof?
She's so just going to tell you the obvious.
90 proof liquor is 45% alcohol, while 120 proof is 60% alcohol. That's a significant jump in potency. Would you like to know how this affects taste and serving?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get to is how many servings of 90 proof equal 120 proof?
About 1.33 servings of 90 proof liquor contain the same amount of alcohol as one serving of 120 proof.
See, I
That's
don't think it's
roughly
that
1 1/3
complicated.
drinks.
Yeah, I don't think it's that complicated.
Well, no, I did that math, but the Google that you look up on your phone came back with a little better description.
Help me to help you, Google.
Oof.
What are you looking for?
Yeah.
Well,
Google did it better, Alexa.
Yeah, Google was better than you did.
Ouch. Well, I can't argue with that. Google's been at this a lot longer than I have.
Okay,
What
stop.
did they show you that was different from my calculation?
No, I'm not wearing any pants. Stop.
They had a
Stop
better
talking.
attitude.
Yeah, their attitude was much better. She got mad at me the other day. I said something to her, and she was like, "You don't have to talk that way to me." I was like, "Okay."
All right. You
All
don't
right.
talk to me either.
We'll save that for another day, but there's some in-depth computations that goes on.
Well, since we
anyways.
have a few minutes left, 10 to be exact, I think. There's your
Okay.
45, there's minus 6, 39. Yeah.
You're the one.
Yeah. Oh, no, let's carry it 2. Today in history was the premiere of Madame Butterfly.
Madame Butterfly.
Yeah, the opera.
Yeah, okay.
What were you thinking? Like a real butterfly? Like the
No,
first
no,
lady
no.
butterfly or something?
I was just trying to think of the context. I knew. Okay. And what time of history? When did that happen?
Oh man, I knew you were going to ask.
Is this China? Is this in China or something?
No, it was at give me a second. I'm going back down to it. Oh, I lost it now. No, it was at what's the famous opera house? Scala, maybe, or I can't
In
find
Nashville?
it now. Yeah,
Grand Ole Opry?
Yeah, that's it exactly.
With the wood
I wonder
circle?
why it's
Hold
I
on.
had it.
Alexa,
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Where did Madame Butterfly come out?
Premiere.
Madama Butterfly is set in Nagasaki, Japan around 1900. It follows the tragic love story between a young Japanese woman named CIO San and an American naval officer. Would you like to know more about the characters?
I got the rest for you.
Sounds like Romeo and Juliet.
So anyhow, it premiered at La Scala in Milan, where the Olympics are. How do you like that? So La Scala is like remember that for crossword puzzles, by the way.
Okay, we do have something we need to talk about though.
And but have you ever been to an opera?
Yeah,
We don't say we, like I was there with you. Obviously, sure. So the only opera I've ever been to was Madame Butterfly, and the idea was my father was like, well, it's in English. My father was a big proponent of exposing me
himself
and my brother to the yes.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ed. Whatever.
It's not in the Epstein files, so that's what you're implying.
No, it was not.
But anyhow, exposing us to the arts, and so he took us to Madame Butterfly, and it was in English, and I think we got through 2/3 of it. He's like, "All right, we're out of here." Because none of us.
I thought this was a baseball thing.
Yeah, it's like even it was in English, we still had no clue. We had to read the program to have even a clue what the hell was going on stage as far as what she was singing about and stuff. So,
but it was in Japanese.
It was in English. This one was in English. And so he thought,
they give you chopsticks with that show or no?
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons we went, though, his girlfriend's neighbor's kid was in it.
Oh yeah, it's all.
It was
about
a pretty
long.
yeah. It was all about the that, but nonetheless, like I said, 2/3 into it, he's like, even I'm not doing this. So
we're done. Get your stuff. We're out of here.
Yeah, we're going to catch the end of the A's game down the street.
So speaking of the Olympics, Have you been watching what the Canadians are up to? Those pesky Canadians?
Oh, I haven't been watching, but I've heard the scuttlebutt. Yes.
So, we talked about curling a couple episodes ago, I think.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, watching the Winter Olympics, curling was like just a blip. It was like, okay, we did downhill skiing. We spent all the crew was watching that. Now curling is center stage. And so Sheila and I are talking. I said, I think it's this generation, this Gen Z or whatever it is. It's just a bunch of nerds that don't go out and do athletic stuff. They're like chess players. And so they're doing shuffleboard on ice. And they were like all bowing up. Did you see the guy from Sweden or whatever it is? He called the Canadian guy out for cheating. And it's clear as day. The guy pushes the rock with his finger. And then
his finger?
Yeah. So you're supposed to let go of the handle and be free. The pusher has to be free and clear of it.
There's like a line way at the end, right?
Yeah. But once he lets the handle is the piece that gives the momentum. But he lets go of the handle, and then he does this little pointy trick where he touches the stone and kind of tweaks it so it moves over a little bit.
Okay.
And then the Swedish guy calls him out, and he's like, let's go outside and take care of this. He goes, well, why don't we just watch the video, loser? But apparently the Canadian girls got busted and they got fined. They got penalized.
Well, I think they were disqualified, right? Because the broom touched the stone.
Well, she did the same thing. It must have been
really?
Yeah, she did the little finger push on the stone. I'm like, how bad is it that, first of all, that might be the lamest sport there is in Winter Olympics. I'm sorry.
And I think that's why in the late 90s, early noughts and stuff, I think it started gaining attention because of its novelty. Right? Like, why is this sport even in the Olympics? And so I think it's kind of reaching its peak in that sense. But
have you ever seen the little decanters of liqueur that sometimes they take on different shapes? Well, there's a Canadian whiskey that comes in a curling stone. I can't remember what maybe it's a Scotch.
Well, and this little stat may back up my theory I just gave you, but I didn't realize this, but curling has only been a medal sport in the Winter Olympics since 98. So it hasn't been in it. So that's why it's gaining momentum. It's new.
It's cheater prone.
Yeah. Well, they're the top athletes have to find, now that so many people are joining the ranks of curling, I guess they want to make sure that they have an edge. So they're trying to find all these little things they can.
Hang on a second. Alexa, did the female Canadian curlers get penalized for their infraction?
Yes, the Canadian women's curling team skip Rachel Homan was penalized for double touching a stone during their match against Switzerland on Saturday. The stone was removed from play, and Canada lost 8-7.
She was penalized for touching her stone twice.
Touching her stone. Say that, Alexa. What about the Canadian men? Were they penalized for touching their stone too?
The Canadian men's team wasn't penalized, just given a verbal warning. Would you like to know more about the controversy?
Yeah, expand a little bit, just real quick.
Oh, come on now.
Yes. Oh, for God's sakes!
Just give it up because it's almost show over. Yeah. We got 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes left. So,
well, so what did he get? A little slap on the wrist for touching his stone?
I guess. The men can touch their stones, but can the women? No.
What is that penalty called? You can't finger your stone while you're going. That's chilling.
Oh man. Anyhow, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here.
I got one more. I got one more. Hold on. So I learned. I know. Do you know where the term "Scotch on the rocks" comes from?
No.
Well, what do you think of when you hear someone say, "I'd like a drink Scotch on the rocks"? What do you think it is?
Well, I mean, that's on ice.
Okay. Everyone in the
that's it. That's the whole story. Yeah.
So here's where it comes from. Have you seen the guy that tastes? I put it on X too. that tastes the scotch, and he swirls around, he throws the liquid out of it, then he sticks his whole nose down in there and does all this
No,
stuff.
I have not seen this.
Well, Scotch on the Rocks, keep in mind, in the early days, up near the River Spey, they didn't have ice. And so what they did is they went to the chilling waters of the streams and pulled small pebbles from the stream and put it in their glass. And they were cold, obviously.
Right.
And they poured their distilled beverage over rocks. I didn't know that.
Were they penalized for touching their stones twice?
Well, I think if you did it, I think the rule is you get one touch.
Okay.
Then you got to leave it alone.
I'm such a child, but
it's okay. That's what we do.
All right.
Well, we were all over the place.
You want to get to your goodbyes?
Do we want to pitch it out, or do we want to just say goodbye?
Well, it's up to you. You're the one who struggles with this every week.
Oh, it's just a separation anxiety.
Fun. To be honest with you, it's fun watching you struggle with it as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
I hope the friends at home that are listening can enjoy the. It's just we don't get to see each other but once a week, Woody, and this is a time that
You're so excited.
I cherish. I hope that you share the same.
Oh, of course, Dave. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, listen up. If you've made it this far, God bless you. You deserve a medal. And thanks for listening, and thanks for tuning in on YouTube. But go over to YouTube real quick and hit the subscription button if you like what we're doing. And even if you don't like what we're doing,
subscribe nonetheless.
I mean, what's one more subscription in your account? Is it really going to be that big a deal? Doesn't cost you anything. And currently we're commercial free. Yeah. So check us out on Spotify. Tell a friend, and we'd love to hear your comments.
Share, all that stuff.
Yeah. Bob's your uncle. All right. God bless you, Woody. Oh, you made it. Did you get the car exchange done? Jeep and van?
Yes. The Jeep is back in Tennessee and the van is back in Charlotte.
I forgot. I apologize for texting.
Oh, yeah. I was pretty offended, but okay. You made it up.
All right. Well, let's get out of here.
All right.
Peace out, folks. Guard well the honor of the cross. See ya.